Welcome to Elevated Wisdom, where we transcend and go beyond the subconscious. Welcome to Elevated Wisdom, where we transcend and go beyond the subconscious.
Alright, here we go. Now there's. Here we go. What up, people? What up, people? Welcome in, welcome in. This is your boy, Intoxicated DJ. We are back with Ahmad Jermaine and another episode of Elevated Wisdom, a healthy conversation. Today, we are going to be talking about something. I don't want to say uniquely special because every conversation is uniquely special in this podcast. But today, we're going to talk about fulfillment. I want to say fulfillment. And so there's this question, there's a video that we're going to discuss, watch, and then we'll go through it. Let me see here. We got that. Okay. So I am going to bring in this is the first video we're going to watch. And I will read out the question after we watch the video, and then we'll go into the conversation. So here is the video without any further ado.
What is controlling you? Could it be fear? Fear is just a four-letter word, but can have power over us mentally and physically. Imagine your life as a journey, and fear as the heavy suitcase you carry around. It may seem necessary, but in reality, it's filled with unnecessary thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. Letting go of fear would be like exchanging that suitcase for a carry-on, which is light and manageable. When we release our fears, we create space for our dreams, new experiences, and the opportunity for love. It's about making a conscious choice to not live in fear and embrace all the amazing things life has to offer. So acknowledge the choice and be prepared to take action. Take a deep breath. Confront that fear and let it go. The life that awaits you is profound. Don't forget we are all prisoners in our own minds until we can master ourselves. Until next time, stay strong and keep dreaming.
I love that. So, Drew the God, appreciate you coming through. Thank you.
Life-changing habits you can start today.
Manan Affiliates got all the videos, so he was going to start playing. But today's we're talking about fear that expands into life. And so I will grab the question here, and we're going to get the party started. So while I'm grabbing the question, if you wouldn't mind, say hello to the people, Ahmad. How you doing today?
Good.
Beautiful.
Have a merry holidays. And I hope all of you are excited for that new year.
Yes.
Great things are coming for all of us.
Indeed they are. Indeed, they are.
for every single one of us.
I agree. I
The
truly agree.
paradigm is shifting.
It's impressive how, as we talking about fears, as we continue to conquer our personal fears, how free we actually are physically, mentally, and emotionally we become. It's not that bad. Let me see.
It's not, man.
Okay, so I
The
got this.
the abundance is all around us. We just gotta take
Mm-hmm.
time to see it.
1 second, Chan. We're gonna post this here. Here's the question. We're gonna put the link. Oh shoot! What am I doing here? No. Okay, here we go. I need to get the link of the video, which is right here. Copy. Guess I should. This could have been done before, right? Lesson learned. Um,
Yeah, could have, but
Coulda, shoulda, woulda,
for,
and
for people, looking to start a channel, they can see all the things that kind of go into it and the struggles, and
mm,
they're all just processes, man. Like we'll get where we need to get. The message is the message, and those that need it will take it. Those that don't won't.
true
It's as simple as
stuff.
that.
All right, we got it here. We got the question on the um,
I see it. I see it.
tagged up on the chat. So as people come in, if you want to check it out, I'm going to be posting it up on all the platforms so you
Check
guys
out.
can
You
see.
put Cydio instead of video.
Oh, Jesus. Thank you for that. Um, because I was about to start putting it on everybody. Oh my God. I call it the fat finger syndrome.
I thought you wanted to be a little Hispanic there.
Yeah, a little bit. Is
Out,
this the
check out
C? The
the
C.
Cydio. The Cydio.
I the C is right next to the V. Z paste. There we go. Okay. Now we get it. Now we get it. Okay. Oh no! Don't do that. Don't do that. Let's see here. Control Alt. We post this here, and we send that out, and we send this one out here, and now all the chats have what's going on with the stream. Going back. Okay. So the question goes, if today were my last day, would I feel content with how I've lived? And the reason why we chose this video today, because personally, I feel that the reason why I was truly unhappy with my life was because I allowed all the fears that I've accumulated through my life dictate what things I should do, shouldn't do, could do, couldn't do, all of the above. And
Mhm.
in turn, it led me down the path that, although I knew was wrong, I felt like I deserved it because of whatever rationalization I did at the time. So for me, the video connects well to the fear that stopped me from living the life I truly desired. Now, once I slowly let go of the fear and bring the boundaries down, I started to realize how much I was falling in love with my life. And so, in today, if I'm asking this question today myself, I would say I would be very happy. I am finally happy with the fact that no one thing is perfect in my life except for the fact when I am in the moment, in the now. That's when things just work.
Flow.
It flow exactly. And so now that I've experienced this, I can say yes. If today, God forbid, is my last day, I came to this world with a purpose, and I've done that. And that purpose was to experience this life. And I've experienced more than many people have, and that's okay. Some good, some bad, all of it. In the end of the day, I am now appreciated because I've got to experience it, good or bad. I got to experience it. Some people never get that. Some souls go their entire life without experiencing rawness, realness, fear, anger, really letting go type shit. So, would I be, if today was my last day, do I feel content with how I lived? Most definitely. I made mistakes, I learned from my mistakes, and I learned how to become the best version of myself because of the mistakes and the successes that I made as well. So that's my little 2 cents on that for now. What about you, Ahmad?
Uh, for me, I would say if you asked me this 3 or 5 years ago, I would say no. Um, and that kind of put me more in a downward spiral because I hadn't done a lot of the things that I wanted to do in life
Mm,
because of my fear, because of my inadequacy and myself, um, my my fear of not being perfect. I mean, the list is long
mm,
of why and I didn't. And once I started realizing, like, the more you advocate for yourself, the more you set up those boundaries, you start getting that power
mm-hmm,
and that belief in yourself to take on some of those challenges and obstacles.
mm,
And for me, when I really and people could say it's just wordplay, and it may be, but for me, what changed a lot, I took mistakes, success,
mm,
and I got rid of them and just put them together as a process. So there is no good or bad out of it. It's just a streamlined process of just learning and understanding.
okay.
That's it. So if I'm sitting here and it's like, well, and so by doing that subconsciously, I didn't even realize what I was doing. I was taking away that expectation. That's
Mm,
really what I did. I eliminated the expectation of a success or disappointment by just having it a process. And through that process is where I'm going to learn.
mm,
Whether it's something I'm going to learn again or whether it's something that's going to help me down the line, but I'm still just taking it as it is and I'm not getting high or low. It
mm,
just is. So by me doing that, that allowed me to do it. But yeah, after I started doing those things and getting that gratitude, I myself could say I truly have lived a very good life, exciting life, and had some really amazing situations and circumstances of some things that have happened that people would be like, damn, I wish, you know?
mm.
Um, we all know, but
Flashbacks.
but and it is, man. Like whether it's traveling, whether it's just being different cities, or
Mm-hmm.
other things. L sweats. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just you name it, man. It was. It's just funny how we complain so much when things aren't going the way we want it because we're trying to
Mm-hmm.
control so much. And the moment you let go of the control and and the worry
Yeah.
of how people will feel and what's going to go on, you just say it is what it is.
Mm.
How free you become, man.
Very much
How
so.
free you become, and it's just like a big weight lifted off of just your mind, man. So I mean, so once you realized that, like, how did you feel, and what was your approach? How did you get to the point to realize, like, I gotta let go?
Oof, that's hard, man. So there's been a few times where that clarification hit, right? That moment of clarity. Whether that was at a dumb situation or whatever, and it's like, man, what am I doing, right? But it didn't really click, I want to say, until I had my first child. And I utilized alcohol to mask my fears. And alcohol became such a part of my life that it hindered every aspect of it, my family, my friends, my everything, my job, my everything. And so I was sitting in the emergency room getting my stomach pumped because I had ripped my esophagus and I had internal bleeding and I could have died, right? And I got to the hospital in time to get my stomach pumped and all that stuff. And as I'm sitting there with this tube down going through my nose, down my stomach, getting pumping out all these shit-looking particles, but it's actually blood in my stomach. And I had my baby, my son was a baby at the time. I'm holding him, and he's like pulling on my thing, on my nose tube, and it just clicked. I'm like, if I don't figure out this relationship with fear that I have of everything, fear of being loved, fear of being successful, fear of failure, fear of
Mhm.
relationships, fear of parenthood, fear of everything. And there was
Oh,
fear
like fear
attached.
of life.
Exactly, very much so,
Hmm.
right? I've thought I had seen what life was, and I did not like it. And because of that belief, I didn't think there was a possibility of anything better. And because of that, I just stayed in that fear. And so I did not want his experience, my son, to be similar to mine in the sense of understanding what alcoholism is at an extremely early age. And I had to make a conscious decision then and there to say, I will find a way to no longer be afraid, right? And that then turned into, okay, there's information out there. Then that turned into, okay, I think I can be strong enough to do these things. And now we're here where we're in Germany and people are asking like what we're doing, and we're just like, holy shit, we are living our dreams. Exactly what, everything I was afraid of, we're doing plus some, and we're doing it freaking well, man. And I now see that fear has a very, very close relationship with excitement. And I misunderstood the difference between the two, right? And now I don't feel fear, I feel excited. Excited to learn, excited to experience, excited and thankful to just be. And it's been a long trip, and not every day is like that. Some days I revert back to my old way of thinking and way of living, and I stay in bed and I don't do anything and I don't go, you know what I'm saying? And I get into the negativity aspect. But that's okay too. It's a learning experience, it's a practice. And it has been one hell of a practice to say the least. What about you?
No, I'll say it is easy to kind of revert back to those emotions and how you feel and think.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why it's a daily job, man, to just ask yourself, like, what am I doing? Why
Yeah.
am I thinking this? Why would I want something negative?
Mm-hmm.
Why would I choose to think the worst case
Yeah.
when I deserve? I want
Mm-hmm.
positive things. So why am I doing that? Why am I sitting here worried about things when shit works out the way it's supposed to. Whether you worry about it or whether you don't, it works out the way it's supposed to work out.
Hell yeah.
You know, you can only control what you can control. So, and I do want to say, I want to control my thoughts. I want to control what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, my reactions. That's very important
Mm,
to be aware so you can be in the driver's seat of your reality.
mm,
That's the biggest thing, man. You don't want other people to control where you're going and how you're feeling.
mm-hmm.
And that's how I lived before. And it was fear through a lot of people and other things that I had to deal with. But yeah,
Mm,
man, yeah, that made me feel worse though when I sat there. It was like, if I died today, what would I feel I've really lived? And I was like, no,
mm.
I haven't done anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
haven't done half the things that I wanted to do. I haven't been to, some of the places.
Mm.
More importantly, I haven't stood up for myself.
Ooh, that's
That was the biggest part for me. Like, I have not advocated for what's best for me. I just went along with shit just to keep things simple,
mm.
to to minimize the conflict, but in the end it complicated and intensified the conflict because within me the beast was trying to come out
Mm-hmm.
because he didn't, but I just didn't want the confrontation. But at the end of the day, gotta let the beast out every now and then, man.
Sure do. And
Yeah, you know.
that's part of us, like you say. That is part of us
Yeah.
that we understand that the more we hide it or suppress it, that crazier it can get, right? And that's why we
Hmm.
should be proud of it and let it out.
Yeah, we gotta
Understanding.
integrate.
Indeed, indeed.
We gotta
Uh,
integrate it, man. Uh, and there's a time and a place for every
mm-hmm.
aspect of us, and we're all, we have various sides, various emotions and aspects.
Mm.
And that's truly what self discovery is understanding and having that awareness of
Mm-hmm.
who you are, how you feel, what are you thinking, why are you thinking,
Mm.
you know, understanding your reactions, and also being aware of those fears and slowly, like, going for them,
Yeah.
integrating those dark aspects of you that
Mm.
you did want to hide or that you were proud of when in your younger years, but you saw like that was a negative. Like for me, I was very upfront, brutally honest, and it worked. But it worked until it didn't. And then I
Mm.
thought I had to change who I was, and that was a mistake
Mm.
because it just made it worse. And then it got to a point where the person I was trying to hide was the person. When he came out for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't no. He came out for weeks, but he was wrecking havoc.
Yeah.
And then I had to pay for all that shit after. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't know why I'm doing all this. I have no
Mm.
clue.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I mean, I knew because I wasn't authentically being me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's at the end of the day, we have to, man. It doesn't matter who doesn't agree, who doesn't care. At the end of the day, you know if you're lying to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know the things you need to do. You know the shit you're feeling. And you understand and are aware of the things that you need to express.
Mm.
And that's what you have to do. You have to do that. You have to advocate for yourself every day. You have to mind your thoughts and your reactions every day. It's an everyday job. It's an everyday task
Mm. I
to
agree.
stay in those moments of self awareness and gratitude and humility.
Mm-hmm. It's it's interesting. You compare that you were sharing as far as eventually you just let it out, and shit happens. You're like, well, I don't know. That is the similar to binge drinking, where you lied to yourself. That
Hmm.
oh, I don't have a problem. There's no issue. look at me. I don't drink every day, right? I only drink on the weekends, but on the weekends I am sloshed, right? I am to the point where I am no good to anybody. And every weekend is like that. I'm okay during the week, but on the weekend, boom, completely out, gone, peeing on myself, pooping on myself, down in the
Damn.
street, like shit, crazy shit, right? Like, it's the,
Diddy party?
yeah, type shit. And that is what the lie does, right? We convince ourselves that, oh, we're not that person, or we tell people, yeah, we're that, we're this, we're that, I'll do this, I'll do that, knowing damn well that's not what we want to do. That's not who we are. That is not gonna make us happy.
Hmm.
And then we wonder, like, why are we miserable the rest of the time? Well, it's because I'm creating this character that I don't want to be around all these people that I have no business needing their attention, and then wondering why I'm stuck playing this character that I hate when that's exactly what I gave everybody else. So that's what everybody else expects from me, right? And it's like, holy shit, if I just be myself and speak up for myself and do the things that you just said, it I find out who is genuinely interested in being around me and who isn't necessarily good for me. And that is okay. I don't have to have everybody around me. I don't need everybody around me. I have the right people who want to be around me, who celebrate my presence rather than tolerate my presence. And no, man, it was a really good analogy you made there. It hit me deep in the sense of that's what is going on now, is that old self trying to fight back and say, listen, I'm still here, I'm still alive, remember this feeling, I'm here, and it will come back. And that's the depression, the anxiety, the what ifs, that shoulda
Hmm.
couldas, the all of the above that make my present moment fade away and get either lost in the past or super anxious of the future, when I can be totally content and happy in the present moment.
Yeah.
And it's a practice, but not a hard practice if we do it every single day. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, yeah, it's you gotta have the discipline and the and that belief.
Mm-hmm.
I know for me, when I have those that old emotion come back, and yeah, anybody could think I'm crazy, and I used to not want to be like, but now
Mm-hmm.
call me crazy, I really don't give a fuck. But I'll have a conversation with myself, like, bro, like, why? I understand you're scared,
Mm.
but it's okay, man. The life that you were afraid of before isn't the life we're doing now.
Mm.
So it's like putting your hand out, like, come with me, man. Like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Getting that integrating that other piece of you, that other side. Come with me, man. Like, see how great it can be. Stop pissing on my parade.
Mm-hmm.
Just shut up. Come with me for 30 minutes
Yeah.
or the rest of the day and just see what you've been missing.
Yeah.
And I do that, man. I tell myself, I'm like, look, man, stop. I hear you. You're safe that way, but you're putting yourself in a box when there's so much beauty around you.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much to be experienced. There's so much to see.
Yeah.
And you're so afraid of the love.
Mm.
And the reality is, that's what we are. We need it. We need love just like we need sunshine. It's that
Mm.
vital to all of us in every piece on the planet. Everything needs sunshine and a little
Yeah.
bit of love. We just do. But yeah, I'll tell myself, man, like, come on, man, like, let's go. You don't have to be like that anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's okay. Like, I know before you thought you had to protect me. because I would not stand up for myself. Well,
Mm,
I'm standing up now. I'm standing up so much that you feel you're not getting enough shine, but it's
mm.
okay. Come with me, and we're integrating the dark side with the good side, and you'll start seeing the the abundant side, because that's what we want. We want to be in the state of abundance with
Yeah.
everything we're doing, man.
No, I hear you. Something you said. I wanted to before I say what I'm about to say. I wanted to give a shout out to Quarantine TV and your boy Rec for being stopping by. Appreciate y'all. Um, Something that you said that struck just me just now. It struck me was I don't care. I'll sound crazy. And I'll talk to myself. It's interesting to me that most people feel that way. It's crazy when we positive self talk, but it's okay when we beat ourselves down. We laugh when they're like, oh, I'm a dumbass. Oh, I'm a fat ass. Oh, I'm a this, that. Oh, I'm a that, that. When it comes to negative talk, man, the whole village will laugh and, oh, yeah, oh, this, oh, that. But when you're doing what you just expressed, oh, boy, you crazy. Why are you telling yourself that? Why are you talking to yourself? What do you mean? We all do that. Every single day. Most people talk negative about themselves in such a harsh way. It's no wonder why we feel so bad about ourselves. I never really understood the idea that, oh, I'm gonna make fun of myself so when other people make fun of me it don't hurt. No, I can just realize that other people's perception of me has nothing to do with my reality. And that was a freedom that set me apart, man. Truly, for me, was that right? That my self-talk, this self-talk, is not only necessary, but it should be practiced by every single person. So I encourage my children to do that now. Stop yourself. You know when your friends are like, oh, we're gonna go do this, we're gonna go do that, we're gonna do something dumb. At the bottom of your stomach, something tells you, I don't wanna do that. But then you tell yourself, oh, well, I wanna be cool. Oh, I don't want them to think I'm a punk. Oh, I don't, you know what I'm saying? All these other things, then, like we're saying, becomes this character that you no longer want to be, rather than say to yourself, like, be a man. Nah, be a strong person to say, I don't think this is right, I will not participate. Not judging them for wanting to do that, but saying, having the back, having the spine, having the courage, whatever word you want to use, to stand up for yourself and say, I choose not to. And you don't have to. And it's okay. Whatever comes after that, it's okay. That's something that for me has been difficult to learn, but more difficult to help somebody else understand, like my kids, right? So, what
Yeah.
is your experience with that in your kids?
As far as you're saying like the negative talk, self talk.
Yes, yes, yes. Like, and you see,
Uh,
you know how kids will
the
like
little
mess up.
ones, it's a little different. I mean, eh, I could certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just try to explain to them, man. Like they set the tone. Your
Mm-hmm.
thoughts, your reactions,
Mm.
like that's your reality.
Yeah.
So if you tell me you're having a bad day, then guess what you're gonna have?
Mm-hmm.
A bad day. If you tell me I'm not smart, I can't do this, then what are you telling me? I can't do this.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you put limitations on yourself? That's what I ask them. Like, why are you choosing to be unhappy when you could be happy?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you choosing to quit on yourself because you don't want to put effort? You can't be bothered.
Mm.
Why are you choosing to not be open to trying something because you just don't want to do it?
Mm-hmm.
So those are the conversations I more or less have with them. It's just asking them those questions to give them the opportunity to kind of critically think.
Mm.
Because I ask them, like, how do you want your day to go?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want a good day. Well, it starts with your thoughts. Starts a big part of it is actually your attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, if you can have a good attitude, that fixes 90% of half the shit going on throughout the rest of the day. Honestly,
Pretty much.
it's actually that simple. Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it,
Yeah.
your attitude is very impactful for the immediate things that's going on in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because they'll choose to do something knowing you told them no or
Yeah.
this. And then when the consequence happens, they want to cry or, "Ooh," and then make you feel bad. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you in here, but who chose to be in here?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't choose to be in here. But you did what you wanted, right? Well, yeah. Okay. I have no problem you doing what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But if it goes against what I've already asked you, there's the consequence. So in that aspect, who chose to be in here?
Mm-hmm.
I did. Okay, now that we know that, I don't want to hear the fucking crying. I don't want to hear the whining. I don't want the pouty face. Stop trying to guilt trip me when it was all your own doing. And for most of my life, that was me.
Mm-hmm.
Even as a young adult, I'm over here pouty face. Oh, why is this happening to me? It's I got the worst luck.
Yeah.
I can't get right. And it was like,
Mm-hmm.
no, you could get right, but you kept choosing not to from your decisions.
Now let me ask you something. Um, the feeling of you can't get right, you doing things that get you in trouble, right? In my opinion, I feel like that's where the feeling of just becoming something, even if it's something that you don't like, because that's the way life is, right? And for me, I feel like we learned that from our relationship with our parents. We are impressively talking about standing up for oneself. At the same time, our relationship with what's happening, it's almost, in my opinion, almost hindering the stand up for yourself and do what you want when it's a child growing up. We instill as a parent the ideas of I know best, do what I tell you. And anytime you don't do what I tell you and do the things that I want you to do, it's gonna be bad for you, right? And even there are times where they do the opposite of what we want, even though there are no serious consequences of doing the opposite of them doing what they wanted. We give them severe consequences so they don't do that again. When in it could be, or I want to know your thoughts of how would that impact them, kids in general, if parents are doing that. Or better question, with the strictness that you grew up, do you feel like that played a role in you wanting to do everything for everybody, so like even the things that you didn't want to do?
For me, the only thing I wanted was to be recognized for who I was.
Mm.
And I was treated to be how someone wanted me to be,
Mm-hmm.
like a robot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that was what messed me up
Mm.
because that's all I wanted to be was ever just acknowledged to be me, like not this perfect person or not this. I don't know, man. Um, that is something I do try with my kids to
Hmm.
allow them to make the mistakes, but there are a time and a place for certain things that you
Yeah.
kind of
Everything's gonna have
you have
consequences.
yeah, you got to tell them like, hey man, like
Yeah.
this is this. So I mean that is a good point.
Mm.
And a lot of stuff honestly is gonna come back to like maturity and being and realizing what they said. Where was that coming from? Was it coming
Hmm.
from a place of fear? Was it coming from a place of concern? Was it coming from a place of care?
Hmm.
You know, um, and then is it explained after?
Mm.
That's another thing. Like, hey man, you're gonna sit in here, but let's talk about why.
Yeah.
And why did you choose? Why did you feel the need to do that?
Hmm.
You know, because a lot of kids, when you ask them, they'll tell you, I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know. And it's like, no, everybody does something for a reason.
Hmm.
There's always a reason. Now, what that is, you got to figure, you got to answer that. I can't, but it's a reason. Whether we wanted to see what was going to happen, if it's food, how was it going to taste? If it's cheeks, I just want to see how it was going to feel. Like, whatever we wanted, there was a reason behind the action we took.
Hmm.
And so it's like, don't stop lying to yourself. There's no I don't knows.
Mm.
No one walks through life saying I don't know.
Mm.
You know, and when we want to say we do that, we're just passing the buck, right? We're really not trying to sit there and be accountable for the action or decision we just took.
Hmm.
That's really what it comes down to. Um, I don't want to be responsible for it.
Yeah. No, I
I'm
agree.
not liable.
I can see that. I heard that question from Neil deGrasse Tyson. I believe it was him in the conversation. Um, Jay Dusk, what up, man? Appreciate you stopping by. The the conversation went that we encourage society encourages to stand up for ourselves and to speak and fight against the power and things in that nature, but everything installed in society is designed to do the opposite. And so it was definitely a good question that made me think about how my relationship with my kids versus my relationship with my parents and whatnot, and for me, it makes sense, right? It made sense that because every so often, they had the parent on top of me saying, don't do this, don't do that, be this, be that, all these things. I had an idea of who I should be, what kind of person I should be, and I did my best to be this well rounded person. And then I realized, holy shit, I'm the only one keeping up to this code. Everybody else doing whatever the fuck they want to do, but yet I'm being this person that I don't want to be because I'm told that that is the right person to be. And thinking through it, it made me realize that a lot of my fears are just fears placed upon me based on other
Programming.
people's experience. Exactly, their programming. They just pass their programming on to me. And then I realized
Mm-hmm.
that it's not only a verbal pass down, but it's also genetic. What we go through goes down in our genes, goes down to our next generation. Our fears, all these things get passed down. Those are what some people call generational curses, right? Alcoholism, this, that, the third, man, well, all these other things. They're truly information that is inbred in our DNA and it gets sent
All
down in our genes.
trauma based. That's all it is.
Exactly.
It's all trauma based.
Exactly. So it really made me think about, how, what am I doing with my kids? And as my kids are getting older now, I starting to see that more and more mistakes are being made. But at least with my son, I've never came down on him, right? I've never been like, "What the fuck? You can't believe you did that." Blah 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 blah. Like I've always spoke to him like you and I speak. Bro, what's going on? Like, what's really going on? Tell me about it.
I can't say
Like,
that. I
and
cannot say
dude,
that.
and it was very difficult. It was very very difficult. But what came out of it, it was something that I can't even put into words, man. Um, I he knows that there is a right and wrong, and there is a sort of level of disappointment when we purposely do something we're not supposed to that hurts others. Yet I will not react based on what he does. I'm going to react as a human and as a parent first. And with that, there is a level of calmness. When he's in trouble, he doesn't know how to act with other people. He doesn't know how to say. He gets that little small lies or I don't knows and all this stuff. When we talk, there isn't any of that, right? When I ask him a question, there may be a pause to kind of have that anxiety of should I say this to my parent? But then he says it, and I don't react. I don't allow my emotions to show him an action that is unnecessary of being truthful. I don't, the action is done. The things are done. The trouble is there. Like me getting mad, me punishing him, me yelling at him, that isn't doing anything constructive, in my opinion. Now, when I started doing the things that you talk about, like talking to them and like, what did I get you? How do you feel? Did you know that you did that for you and now you have to pay the consequences? Yeah, I know I shouldn't have done that. Now I'm in trouble. I'm punished. I gotta be grounded for a week. Okay then, take it on the chin
Was
like a
it worth
champ.
it?
Exactly,
Yeah,
right?
was it worth it?
It wasn't worth it. Do is it you gonna do it? No, I don't want to do it again. Okay then, it's that like understand, like you said, what your actions are doing. And if you enjoy those actions, know that every action comes with a consequence. So that is it, man. And it is not the most difficult because sometimes I still lash out and But the more and more I practice that those conversations, I see that it isn't my reaction does nothing to help that person learn what they need to learn from that experience. If anything, my reactions is gonna take away from their experience of that. And so I try to really be mindful of that when it comes to speaking with others and having their experience shared because I sure shit made my mistakes and was yelled at and you're never gonna get it right. You never did this and you're always in trouble and you're always gonna do blah blah blah. So it's like if you hear that enough and that's who you become. You're gonna believe all
Yeah.
that. So I do see the changes that you continue to make, especially as a father, man, and the things that you struggle with yourself personally to be able to be strong enough to put those aside and be a stronger person for your kids. It's a real thing, man, and
It's difficult.
it
I'll say
is.
that. That for me, the consistency of that is definitely challenging. Especially sitting and trying to teach them to read and it's just like, oh my God,
Yeah.
the patience and and again, you just want them to get it, man.
That's
It's just one of those things. You just want them to be prepared.
mm-hmm.
That's it. I just want them to be prepared, man. For the essential things. If you can read, a lot of shit is going to be in your favor just by reading. You know, if
Mm-hmm.
you can critically think, a lot of shit's going to be in your favor.
I agree.
If you can be disciplined, a lot of shit's going to be in your favor. You know,
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and if
sir.
you can go and understand that, that everybody's not going to like you, you know, like,
Mm.
if you can understand that being by yourself is a superpower.
Yes.
When you love your own company and you can do whatever by yourself, that is a fucking superpower, man, and not be
Mm-hmm.
bothered.
I agree.
And that's just the things I try and talk to them about, and instill in them that belief in themselves, man. Like you could do anything you choose to do,
Mm.
and a lot of the things you're really gonna want to do in life that's worth something are gonna take some sacrifice. It's gonna
Mm.
take some effort. It's going to take some resilience. It's going to take some patience. It's going to take some belief.
I agree.
But if you just keep doing it a step at a time, a day at a time, you'll
Mm.
get where you want to go. Just just keep going.
That's it.
Um,
If you, we're gonna do. I was thinking of doing the advice section, right? For people who are currently struggling with this topic today, what are some encouraging words that you would have for anybody who's struggling with finding the happiness of accomplishing life so far, right? Well, today's topic.
I would say a big thing is don't look at it personally. Look at your life objectively, right?
Mm.
Just really look at it as if it was somebody else's life, and look at all the things you've actually got to do, see, accomplish.
Mm.
Um, Because then you're like, wow, I really did do some stuff.
Yeah.
Because we're so focused on those things that we think are so important that we didn't do, that
Mm.
it takes away everything that we have already done,
Mm-hmm.
or things we're currently working on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, the other thing is give yourself some grace, forgiveness. Like there's a reason you haven't done it yet, and it's everything with the universe, everything is timing.
Mm-hmm.
We're all here for a reason, and we do have purposes to fulfill our life and to learn and experience. But if we're clueless on who we are, what we want, or where we're going, how the hell are we going to know what to experience, when, why, how? We're
Yeah.
not. So you have to have discernment, right? You have to kind of sit back and be like, all right, who am I? Okay, I want to be this person. This is what I stand for. Okay, cool. What do I truly want? Because now I have a path, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other way, I'm just kind of floating in the wind. I'm like those things at the used car salesman's, right? Them little windy things that just just shaking, like just waiting until something blows me somewhere. Yeah, it just blows me over here, and then I'm doing it, and then it's like, well, I don't like this. Why am I here? Then I blow over here, and it's like, oh, I'm in this relationship. This shit is toxic. Why am I here? And and it's like, but if you knew who you were and what you wanted, you wouldn't have went to either one of those.
Mm.
And that's the biggest thing I would say. Have forgiveness. Look at your life objectively, not personally. You know,
Mm.
and understand things, opportunities, and for us to fulfill what we want are always there. We're just not paying attention. And I know for me, a lot of times I would tell myself what I'm into or what I'm not into, what I will do, what I won't do, not even experiencing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not into computers, but have you done any of the computer classes? Well, no. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm not.
No.
I'm not into this. Well,
Yeah.
have you? How do you know? Have you talked to someone? Have you seen the career field? No. I just think it would be boring. Like, so I think a lot of times we limit ourselves on what we could be doing
Mm-hmm.
based off of our pre-programming or who we believe we're supposed to be or who we want to be instead of just walking through those doors, man. So that would be my little my 2 cents as far as that. Um, just
Um,
understanding, like,
no, that's good, man. That is really good. For me, you hit. I mean, you hit the nail on the head on most parts. I think the only thing I would add in that is the idea of practicing living in the present moment, right? And
hmm
when I'm able to do that, truly let go of the past, truly be unbothered by the future, and just appreciate this moment, wherever that may be. That's me in bed feeling sorry for myself. That's me in Japan living my best life. That's me in Portugal with the sexiest ladies in the world. That's me in, wherever, whatever situation that may be, that moment. If I can truly be in that moment and thankful for that moment, whatever it may be, even if it's at a funeral, to say I had the pleasure to meet this wonderful soul and had this connection with this wonderful soul and all this stuff. I can go to a funeral and be thankful that I had the pleasure of meeting such an amazing person versus the perception of going to a funeral and feeling bad that such and such is not here to make me feel XYZ, right? That moment, being in the moment, truly allows me to look at my life and let go of the past and the future. It allows me to say, whatever it had been, whatever it may be, I am in love with who I am right now and what is going on right now. I have the solutions to all my problems, and I am smart enough to get through whatever is I need to get through unscathed. And that for me, although it doesn't work every time, when it does work, it's almost like a portal where it takes my mind, it takes my emotions completely away from this physical body, and it allows me to see that the mental and the emotional gives me all the information I need or require to make the life I want to experience happen. So, like you were saying, right? If I use my head to understand what I'm doing, where I'm going, and what I am about, just being will create everything. Just be me. I don't have to have the perfect, business plan. I don't, I don't have to have the most accurate plays or most, nothing in that nature. I can just be, and as I'm being, I am creating. I am doing,
how
and
to do it.
hell
Is
yeah,
that right?
that's
Yeah.
it. Is that right? Tell me more. How does that make you feel?
How do you feel here?
Yeah. And that has got me to a place where it may not be everybody's desired lifestyle, but I love my life. I truly do, and I'm thankful to have this amazing doctor with me and his
So,
luscious locks.
what part of your life is it that you love so much?
All of it, man. All of it. All of it. The good, the bad, the mediocre. It all has its role in me being here. The good people, the bad people that are treating me, XYZ, all of that has gotten me into here. Oh, my mistakes, all of it, everything, man. And now that I'm able to say that, it's different. The love for myself feels different because I know I am not lying to myself. I know I'm not just saying that to sound good for the podcast, to sound good for you. I'm saying it because I truly believe it in my heart. And that is transcending, my friend.
No, it's very empowering
Very much so.
to finally sit there and be able to say it. But it's
Mm,
one thing to say it, it's another to actually believe it.
for sure.
That is the biggest difference.
That has taken me
You know,
I would say it has taken me 5 to 8 years to truly grasp that. I started by just saying it and I didn't believe it. And it's
hmm
taking me that long to turn words into belief.
hmm
It may not take that for everybody, but it took that long for me. And it wasn't like
now,
planned. It
how
just
long? Because you said it took the words to the belief, but how
uh
long did it take that word to change it into the emotion? And then that emotion allowed you to believe. Is that kind of what
um
happened? Or,
I when it when we have these conversations, when we put into so again, like when we were outside the barbershop, right? And we were speaking it
hmm
out. That's that's the true belief, that moment of realization that despite the fears, despite all these thoughts that I had in my head, at the
hmm
end of the day, I've done it. Like I'm doing it, right? Like it's nuts to have be in that moment of saying, man, I'm afraid I don't have, I'm not a millionaire, so how could I travel the world? Well, here I am traveling the world, not being a millionaire, right?
You don't
Uh,
need millions.
exactly, right? And oh well, I'm not a scholar. I'm not highly educated. I could never write a book. Boom, we have 2 books, working on our third one now.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? Like it's, uh, man, everything. I used to, man, I don't think I could have a good relationship because I'm not good enough for anybody, so I gotta pretend and blah blah blah. And here I am with the most amazing relationships, friendships that I could ask for, real, authentic relationships. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, well, I don't have to have it. I already have it in my life. So all these things, these fears that I had and all that stuff, when I truly opened my eyes, they were already there. And that's when the belief came, I think, for me, not think, I know that's when the belief was just there, right? There's no thought about it. There's no
hmm
contemplation. There is no second guess or pause. It's just, I know. Like, I know we're good. I know this is the decision I want to do. I know I'm going to write this other book. I know we're going to do the retreat. I know. And I'm no longer afraid. And that I know, when I say that I know,
I know I
like it
get
gives me
goosebumps.
chills, right? It gives me
Yeah, I
fucking
get the
chills.
goosebumps, right?
Heck
Like I'm like, ah.
yeah. And that's what it is. And that's how I know the difference. Because before I would say it and I felt nothing. Now I get chills, I get excited, I get all of it, man. It's like, whoa, yeah. And that's a big difference of belief, man. Big difference of belief.
It's amazing. It's a powerful thing. Definitely
Yes,
powerful.
sir. Yes, sir. Very, very much so.
Definitely powerful, man.
Um,
So since we're on belief,
mm,
you know, I'm gonna bring up kind of when we were on that call the other day, and we got asked that question, or I got asked, where we at, or as far as the retreat, where you guys at?
mm-hmm.
And that old piece of me wanted to come back so bad because I know we're not where I would like to be,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I'm trying to allow things to come to me and not control everything and make it so perfect before I take the next step. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like
Mm-hmm. Much love, baby mama
but
Tina.
after the fact, man, I'm over here searching online and looking and stuff, and I'm like, hold up, man, what the fuck am I doing, man? Chill, chill. Like it's all working the way it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna feel inadequate because there's a question.
Yes.
I mean, and it was a great question because obviously she's looking for something right now.
Yeah.
So I understood that. But for that minute, man, I was like, oh, that boy like Charlie Brown was like, oh,
I saw it.
like
I saw it a little. I saw that.
yeah, I
It
was
was like
like,
a small hesitation because,
yeah,
yeah.
because it was like I haven't been working on it, but yet at the same time we have.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that fight and battle within yourself. But yeah, after the fact, man, I was like, you know what? Everything's gonna work the way it's supposed to.
Hell
Opportunities will
yeah.
continue to be around. What's meant for me is meant for me. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna stress, man. But yeah, yeah,
No,
I
I
felt a
hear,
little.
and I felt it too. Like I felt it too. I am the type of person that if I am asked that question, I want to be like, boom, here it is. I got the
Yeah,
full place. Let me give you a
yeah, I got the
tour.
answer.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I have it all figured out already.
Uh,
And when I don't, it's like, oh my god. And rather than saying, well, I've gotten this done, my brain goes into, we ain't got shit. Ah, everything's horrible. Ah, panic,
mhm.
panic, panic. And this time was like, I, now we continue to work. We play off well off of each other. I noticed the discomfort that that question had on you, which was like, okay, step up, say something, even if I don't believe it at this current moment, say it to to get that energy from it. And that's something that I do now. Sometimes I'll say something even if I don't believe it right away. I'll
Yeah.
say it anyways, and then I'll find the evidence of making that statement true, and it helps me
Well,
believe in that.
if you didn't notice what I did, I just went straight to confront that fear and tell her how I felt.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, obviously I'd like to be further along, but then I'm still battling with certain aspects of that self.
Yeah.
Like, oh, now there's an expectation. Now I'm supposed to be doing this. Am I? And she got it. She,
Yeah.
she understood what was going on.
Hell
So,
yeah. Now, most
but yeah,
definitely, I see a lot of good things coming from that, and more importantly, I think rather than looking at that question in a like, oh man, we don't have this stuff and we don't have that stuff, I am now looking at that question and giving me purpose to get more stuff done. And that's why I did all,
correct.
you know what I'm saying? Through
Yeah,
that
yeah,
energy, I'm like, the other night, I was like, I gotta get stuff done for this. So that's why
yeah,
I did the program and the questions and all those paperwork that I
yeah,
sent you. That's where that came from. Okay, I know you're doing the videos. I know you got stuff going on. What do I need to do?
yeah.
What can I do right now to start chipping up the block? And that's one thing, right? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? And we're getting ready to eat this whole elephant. And we're doing it, man. We're definitely doing the right thing because we're doing it the best way we can and the healthiest way we can. And, we're not, I, from my perspective, we are not overselling what we are doing. We are truly being authentic with ourselves and everybody that we come in contact with. We are out here helping people. We're giving those people things that may not be able to obtain from them because of money situations, whatever. We're willing to give our assistance for free for those people. We are willing to be out here placing all these different things in place and facilitate an environment for people to heal,
You
and
know what
we're
I
not
was gonna
charging.
tell you?
Huh.
Um, when you go to that thing in March,
Mm-hmm.
see if you could put together like hygiene kits. We got that stuff,
Oh.
and that might help JNL because now they could actually, well, if they like it, now they know someone they could go and actually, you know what I'm saying, purchase. So
Okay. Yeah. No,
it's
that sounds
something
like a
that
good idea.
I was like, you know what, that could work.
Yeah.
Because what what you feed your brain is important, but it's also what you feed your body and put on your body is just as important.
For
So,
sure.
you know.
Yeah, no,
That'd be a good aspect
that sounds great,
to
man. I
kind
think I'm
of
gonna do that.
tackle, you know.
Hell yeah. That's
So
no,
you
I
got
love it.
goodie bags, you got,
The
you
books.
got this. Yeah,
Exactly. So we will
so
have the books, the work, the other thing that we're working on now is the workbooks. We should have that workbook complete by March and have workbook, the book, a little goodie bag, more than enough. More than enough,
hmm
and start our journey. And hopefully we'll hear back. And you sent the email for the veteran retreat.
hmm
Yeah. So there we go, man. We're on it. And despite our fear, chat, despite our fears and things are personal, like doubts of things, we continue to push past them. We continue to motivate one another and say, "Hey, I hear you," and we continue to ask one another, where are the areas that we need assistance in, right? If we need help, hey, Ahmad, I'm struggling on this. I need this, or vice versa. And it is creating an environment for us to succeed despite our journey. If he wants to go left and I'm going right, we're still helping one another, just being
hmm
supportive. And that is the whole heart of this community. You don't have to like exactly what I like. You don't have to be doing exactly what I'm doing for me to help you in your journey, and vice versa. And so, thank you for everybody that continues to come by, check out the podcast, come through the
Yeah,
website.
appreciate it.
We're adding a lot more affiliates to the community. We have a brand new song for the Intoxication family. We are going to be getting some classes here on Discord. So if you're enjoying these conversations, you want to be part of these conversations, you have questions, you want to have, so you need some advice, you want to, whatever it is that's on your mind, and you're looking for some people to help you have a conversation, then here we are. We're having this podcast on Fridays for the whole purpose of healing through conversation. And so feel free to join the Discord, and there you'll see Elevated Wisdom section. There's Q&A. There's a forum, and there is a channel for the podcast itself, where if you would like to be part of the conversation and be on stream, you more than welcome to. We can add you on there and have that in advance. So if you do want to be a part of it, send us a message through here at intoxicated@gmail.com or at manaanaffiliates@gmail.com. Any of those will work. You're welcome to send out questions if you want them to be discussed during the podcast. We're more than happy to do that as well. And
Yeah,
the
even topics.
say again.
They could bring up certain specific topics that they may like, things for them, you know.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and that's the we welcome all to participate. You don't have to, but you are very welcome. And so, life has so many aspects of it that sometimes we may feel there's nobody out there that could understand. There's nobody out there that has been through this. There's nobody out there that has XYZ. And therefore, I feel this. If you're one of those people that ever thought like that or have those feelings, I challenge you to come in here and have a conversation with us. More than likely, we'll know somebody that has something, at least gone through something similar, but at the very, very, very least, we can have a conversation about how fear is fear despite situations. Love is love despite situations. Hurt is hurt despite situations. And that is when we find the common aspect of us all, we begin to heal because we no longer feel alone. We understand there's a better way, there's another way out, there's light at the end of the tunnel, whatever you want to call it. So, thank you again for everybody being here. Thank you, Ahmad, for being such a presence of positivity, encouragement, and overall authenticity, man. You have been a true help to me in my growth, but also in my business life. you were able to have create this environment for me to have no fear, man. Truly knowing that I have somebody in my corner to watch my back, that despite if I fuck up, you we're gonna have a conversation, we're gonna learn from it rather than just, oh, you're a fuck up, end of story. Right? That is what you bring to us, man, and phew, words cannot describe how thankful I am and for everybody.
I appreciate it, man.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So I'm really
Appreciate
I'm good and I'm happy, man. We're getting close to the hour and a half. I know it's late out there in the Germantown, Germany. So
Yeah, it's almost 12:30.
ooh, gotta get your rest. But yeah, what are any final thoughts you have?
Just since the topic was about fear, just don't allow your fear to um control your life.
Mm,
Fear is not a bad thing, but it is when you aren't living. It is when you're
mm,
not advocating. It is when you're afraid of everything and you no longer get to experience anything.
mm-hmm.
But yet you're pissed off at yourself because you're not experiencing anything. So it's like, it's just
Yeah.
getting to that point where just be open to it. Don't have those expectations of what it may or may not be.
Mm,
Uh, a great company well, I'm not going to say a great company, but a company we all know, their catchphrase actually applies to this.
mm-hmm.
Just do it. Nike, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it when it comes to fear, like we can't have the fear. Just do it and
Yeah.
don't have the expectations and be open to whatever it may or may not be. If you don't like it, now you know you don't do it again.
Mm.
If you do, now you can do it again. It's 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 really that simple. At the end of the day, we create all these narratives in our head to on why we would or why we should or why we couldn't. Just do it, and from there make the determination.
Mm.
But take those steps, man. Get your life back.
That's it. Take your life back. Wow, those are strong words. And very on point in the sense of the conversation, right? The idea of taking your life back means to me truly appreciating what you put out based on your beliefs on what your purpose here is in this world.
Mhm.
And well said, my friend. Well said. Thank you. So on that note, we are gonna be ending the today's podcast. And again, thank you so much for everybody coming through. Thank you for
Yes,
participating.
thank you so much.
We appreciate that. Everybody that's including Disklink and Artisan, Mama Tina Gaming, all you guys, thank you for coming through. We'll be adding more people to the podcast and the affiliate. So if you want to check out the website, mananaffiliates.com, and Manan Affiliates on YouTube, a lot of assistance on mental and emotional health. And we are always here through email and other avenues to assist the best way we can. So please feel free to come by and ask away. Don't be shy. You won't find out until you try it out,
Try.
right? Exactly. Try, try,
Don't be
try.
shy. You won't find out till
You
you try.
try.
Oh, Dr. Seuss over there.
But yes, so I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Stay blessed, stay amazing, and don't forget, love yourself. And we're gonna go out with our 3 L's.
Yeah. So the 3 L's. Lead with love, take time to laugh, and never stop learning.
Much love, everybody. Have a good night.
All right. Nighty nights. Thank you for joining us and have a good night. Lead with love, take time to laugh, and never stop learning. Thank you for joining us and have a good night. Lead with love, take time to laugh, and never stop learning. Thank you for joining us and have a good night. Lead with love, take time to laugh, and never stop learning.